Pretty week. One more time. How are you, first hour? All right. Welcome to the fourth day of the 22nd year of Writers Week. We have some wonderful students that are going to be presenting their work. But first, we have a couple people to thank. Well, a lot. But first and foremost, turn to your teacher who brought you here. Give them a radiant smile that clearly says, "Thank you so much. You are the light of my morning." All right. Next, tech crew. They're amazing. They put everything together. Round of applause. Yeah, awesome. And I will no longer talk. I want you guys to hear as much as possible of these wonderful students. So our first presenter is Isabella Buccieri.
How do I do this? Okay. Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? Okay, so this started off as a college essay, but I kind of made some edits to it, and I hope you like it. So here you go. Dear 5-year-old me, I know that right now all you probably care about is why Haley won't talk to you at recess or why Mom won't let you eat dinosaur chicken nuggets all day long. I know that you love to paint even if all it is are scribbles on a blank piece of paper. I know that sometimes you think about running away, living in a castle, and flying on your pet dragon. You are quite imaginative. Never stop dreaming. Turn those dreams into stories. You love to write. You love the way words flow through your blood and down into your pencil. It feels as if time stands still. You love the way writing helps you express yourself, the way it heals your mind, and the way you become one with the story. One day you'll find yourself locked away in your room scribbling into your journal. That's the day you'll start your first book. You'll write a grand total of 3 books, but finish none. I know that all you want is to write something meaningful, but just know that everything you write is worthwhile and has its own purpose. I hope you keep writing, even when you feel discouraged, because everyone has a story to tell. Be yourself. Scream your heart out to Taylor Swift songs when you're alone in the car. Eat a whole apple pie just because you can. Cheer for the Hawks when they win the Stanley Cup, and even love Peyton Manning after he's traded to the Broncos. Dance at prom because it doesn't matter if you're a bad dancer, just as long as you're happy. Remember that it's okay to cry. Let Mom hold you before your back surgery because it's going to be hard on the both of you. Remember to stay positive even when the dark days seem to last a lifetime, because I promise you will get through it. When Tio Jimmy passes and Mom breaks down, don't be afraid to do the same. Understand that sometimes to get through the hard part, you just need to let it go. Chase your dreams. You'll want to be a dancer, a designer, a writer, a chef, and maybe even a princess one day. However, you'll soon realize that being a doctor is the one thing you're so passionate about that you can't imagine doing anything else. So persevere to reach that goal. Even when you feel like a moron and fail your very first physics test, don't let it be you. But also understand that physics is actually extremely difficult. Let that grade remind you that there's always room for improvement, and no matter what challenges you face, don't let them get in the way of your dreams. Know that it's okay to be scared. You have a lot of fears, some bigger than others. Just understand that you're a lot bigger than that little spider on the wall, and the odds of it biting you are very slim. Stay calm on the first day of high school because I can assure you, you won't go through the journey alone. But most importantly, know that it's okay to be scared of the unknown, because most everyone is. Just remember to breathe, sit back, and enjoy the ride. Be proud. Acknowledge your accomplishments and be proud of everything you have worked so hard for. When you get into your dream school, know that it's okay to hyperventilate for 10 minutes, because you did it. Be proud of the friendships you've made, the dedication you put into your studies, and even the fact that you feel comfortable in your own skin. Be proud that you're you, because sometimes that's the hardest thing to be. While you probably won't understand any of this now, I guess you'll figure it out for yourself. Love, future you. Up next is Caleb Bale.
Love you too, handsome.
That was me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Jakeem? Yeah, cool. All right, guys, I'm Caleb. This started off as a college essay, modified it a little bit. The prompt was discuss an accomplishment or event, formal and informal, that marked your transition from childhood to adulthood within your family. I titled it Strangled. Why did God make me this way? My 6-year-old self, looking up from my speech practice, asked my mom in a voice few could understand. I had been going to speech therapy for 2 years, and every night after dinner, my mom practiced saying lists of words with me. When we started, the sun would be enough to read by. When we finished, the soft glow of our kitchen lights would illuminate my mom's smiling face. I had been improving, but at a frustratingly slow pace. My mom looked me in the eyes and replied, "I don't know, Caleb, but everything happens for a reason. Maybe this will help you help others later in life." I was 16. We were driving home from a track meet that ran late. After my mom pulled into the driveway, I started to get out. "Wait," she said in halting speech. It's not lit. Laryngitis?" I offered in a quiet and smooth voice molded by years of training. "No," she sobbed as I reached out for her. My mother had been having a very hard time speaking for a month before that day. At first, my family and her doctors thought she had a severe case of laryngitis, but she had gone to a specialist that afternoon and was diagnosed with spasmodic dysphonia, a neurological disorder that causes involuntary spasms in the vocal cords, resulting in strangled speech. Words cannot describe the agony of seeing your mom go through pain. For a while, all she could do was sob and scream, not a scream of words, but of guttural agony. I would tell her about my day, and out of habit, ask about hers. She would wince, and I would keep talking. One day, I went searching through my house. Finally, I found them. They were the speech cards that I had started practicing with, just pictures of animals. Hesitantly, I took them upstairs to my mom, and we attacked her disorder. Syllable by syllable, we fought. Eventually, my mom was not ashamed to try to talk with me anymore. She had been faithful in helping me with my speech, never being judging or condescending. The same relationship we had throughout my early childhood still existed, only the roles were reversed. After practice, I would come home and teach her math just so we could talk more. I bought a ukulele and learned how to play it because she loved island music. Singing together on the porch became a tradition. Somewhere over the rainbow, my mom could speak for her too. I learned the science behind rainbows and physics the next year. After dinner, we weren't using flashcards anymore. We were onto the hard list, the ones that made me hate the English language in elementary school. My mom was speaking much better this past winter, and she wanted to go back to work. Unfortunately, her work was heavily reliant on communication over the phone, and she had a lot of trouble with that. Even though we were in the same house every night that winter, much of our practice happened over the phone. I had a Saturday football game last October, and it was the best game of my life. Not because it was perfect weather, not because I played well, or even because we beat Powhatan by 30. I heard my mom cheering for me that game. I heard the mom I had been encouraging for 2 years yell for me. When I got home, my mom said, "Caleb, I have a cool story to tell you. When you were in first grade, you asked me, why did God make me this way? Well, everything happens for a reason, and I was why you went through that. You developed compassion and patience so you could help me. In my family, adulthood is caring for those who have cared for you." Love you, Mom. Up next is Katie DeWitt.
Hi guys, good morning. I'd like to give a shout out to Miss Marsh's first hour English class. Woo! This is a shareable draft I wrote for that class. It was the morning of April 2nd, 2003. My mother had been diagnosed with leukemia 17 days prior. They found her chromosomes had somehow changed during replication and started making cells that were fighting against her instead of for her. Her body was in a civil war. My children knew that their grandma was sick. My oldest was nearly 3 years old and testing the limits of her newfound independence with the nurses and family at the hospital. My second and final child, nearly 4 months old, couldn't understand why everyone was crying. The entire family was there at this hospital in Madison. We even got my brother home in time from deployment in Iraq. My sister from California, my other brother from Washington, D.C., and cousins, nieces, nephews, everyone, plucked from their schools and workplaces and brought to Madison. Holding Jeffrey in my arms, Katie and I made our way down the corridor. I immediately spotted my father in the hallway. We made eye contact, and he came walking towards me. She doesn't have much longer. Maybe tonight, tomorrow if we're lucky. She wants to see you, though. I handed my niece the baby and let the nurse take Katie into a playroom. To be honest, I was afraid. I was afraid to see my mother, the most energetic person I know, brought to a state where she could hardly breathe without assistance. She had always been by my side whenever I needed her. Finally, I worked up the nerve to talk to my mother. I took a deep breath and pushed open the door. "Hey, Mom, how are you feeling?" I said, trying to remove all sounds of pity from my voice. She looked over at me. "Susie, I know that I'm going. As much as people try to keep it from me, I can tell. Instead of injecting needles into me, they take them out. They're pulling everything away. It's just a matter of time before I get pulled away, too." I was taken aback. These words should not have come from my mother's lips. There was too much pain and sadness. This woman truly loved living. She loved her family, and she loved Jesus. She gave her love away. She wasn't doing anything special. That's just the way she thought that everyone else should be treated. "Mom, don't lose hope. We'll get through this as a family, together. Sue, I just wanted to let you know how very much I love you, and I always will." I choked back tears. "Sweetheart, don't cry. Whenever you miss me, look at the sun. That's where I'll be. I'll always be with you, no matter what happens." I nodded, trying to regain my composure. I was supposed to be encouraging her, and there she was again, making me feel better. But enough of that kind of talk. Bring in those kiddos of yours. I want to see them. And the rest of the family, too. It's a party. Look at all this food. Help me eat the strawberry ice cream. I can't enjoy it all myself. I found Katie and Jeffrey playing in a playroom with their cousins. Katie ran ahead. She knew where to go to find Grandma. And with Jeffrey in my arms, we joined the rest of the family's party. As soon as Katie saw her grandma, she hopped up onto the bed, and they began to sing "You Are My Sunshine," her favorite. Everyone in the room, including the nurses, seemed as though they were having a good time. Sort of. "Now, Katie girl, every time you see the sun, think of our song. Think of Grandma. I love you, and I'm so proud of you," she said, stroking Katie's Dutch blonde locks. "I will, Grandma. Where are you going?" she asked, genuinely not knowing why people were left to tears. "Far away, sweetheart, but we'll see each other soon," she said. Our family circled the bed. We laid hands on her, and we prayed. She held Jeffrey in her arms and cooed at him, and Katie was playing near her lap. We thanked God for her life, we thanked him for her legacy, and we thanked him for helping our family through this. I could hear her humming You Are My Sunshine, and I felt her pulse slowing down. And I sang the last line for her. "Please don't take my sunshine away." Katie looked over at me. "Mommy, why isn't she singing?" "Honey, we have to leave Grandma for now. The nurses have to take care of her. I had to stay strong, just for a minute, just to help my kids." "Why? Is she gone?" "Honey, your grandma is with Jesus now." Katie leaned over the bed and gave my mom a kiss on the forehead. "I hope she likes it there. I'm going to miss her." "Me too, honey," I said. "Me too." She was playing with the balloons by the windows. Her monkey and her elephant were deep in conversation with each other. The rest of the family was crying and preparing for the funeral. I just watched her. And she looked at the sun, and she said, "I love you, sunshine." Thank you. Up next is Danielle Grandinetti.
Hello. I think this microphone is too tall for me. So in deciding which essay I was going to turn in for Writers Week, I had two that I figured I'd choose from, one that I got an A on and one that I got a B on, and this is the B essay. This is how to be an adult. At some point, typically at the age of 18 or sometimes 40, we all have to learn how to be a grown-up. This can seem intimidating, as though the entire world is out to prove your inadequacies, but there's no need to be concerned. Growing up is a simple step-by-step process. Just tuck that existential crisis away, pretend you don't have cripplingly low self-esteem, and begin. Like when you're in elementary school, there's that running test. It goes 1, 2, 3, beep. Step 1, start the day out right. You have stuff to do today, and no one wants to be unprepared. Pretend that you didn't have candy for breakfast. Actually shower. Do not rub yourself down with baby wipes and vanilla extract and say good enough. You're going to want to wear actual pants, which are the ones in your closet that are not fuzzy. Select a shirt that does not have tikka masala stains. If neither are available, a dress will do regardless of gender and whether or not you shaved your legs. It's 2016, and even the most intense laziness can be passed off as activism. Before you leave the house, find your keys and wallet. Places to search include between the couch cushions, in your own hand, in the fridge next to the cereal box paired with your phone, already in the car where they are actually supposed to go, in the bag you took to your grandmother's 2 weeks ago, or in your pockets. Once you've located these elusive items, get in the car, adjust your mirror, scoot all the way up because you're still too short to reach the pedals. It's okay that you can't see over the steering wheel, that's not really important. Backing out of the garage, take care to not kill any smaller children. Larger children can run. As you drive, attempt not to cry. Any ulcers developing may be addressed later. Don't forget where your car is in the parking lot. And with this, you have begun your day. Perhaps you are off to class or work or to hang out with friends, though just how likely is that? Regardless, there will be people there, and you will need to have the skills to talk to them. Skew your face into something resembling contentment. Interject your approval in appropriate places, such as after a wholly uninteresting story. Keep track of phrases. For example, when a person handing you a pizza says, "Enjoy your food," do not say, "You too." If required to make small talk, try balancing eye contact, or don't. Limit conversation to the weather, the other person's outfit, how difficult first world life is, and your pets. Do not let a silence last longer than 3 seconds. If you do, you've lost, it's all over, abort, abort, abort. It'd be weird to start again. If you've successfully made it through a conversation, dwell on it for hours on end, analyzing every little detail that could have gone wrong, like did they interpret you correctly, and were you annoyed, or were they annoyed, and did you seem intellectually skilled, and did you still smell like breakfast candy? Through the haze of post-talking panic, complete your responsibilities one by one. Try not to dwell on how many of them there are, and don't start questioning whether or not you turned the stove off. Stop imagining coming home to the sight of smoking rubble. Instead, make a to-do list and decide what you'll procrastinate on today. Homework, or cleaning, or feeding the family. In general, it is best to prioritize the things that are vital to your survival. By that logic, feeding the family is not the item to push off until tomorrow. Ignore the things that have been on your radar for months on end, as these may be done later or never. Now you've made it through a majority of the day, and with all of your limbs and hopefully organs, though sometimes you have to say goodbye to certain bodily tissues for a little extra cash on the side. Of course, you have made the mistake of losing your car despite previous advice. That's okay though. Casually weave in and out of the aisles in the parking lot and attempt to not appear criminal. Being arrested would put a slight damper on your day. Don't look at the cameras. Once you've located your vehicle, get in the least suspicious-looking manner possible. You've already used all your creepy points. Try to look confident in the fact that this is indeed your car, even if you aren't completely sure. Remember, adulthood is all about composure. That's why the housewives of Orange County are so civil. Driving home, it's okay to make velociraptor-esque screeching sounds if that is what makes you comfortable. Once you've reached your destination, take comfort in the fact that all potential failures are invisible to others while inside your home. Start doing laundry and never finish. Eat dinner off of paper plates because you're too lazy to do the dishes. Make a blanket fort, crawl in, pretend the world doesn't exist, go to sleep. Have pleasant dreams of financial burdens and domestic bickering. Get up at 3 and then never fall back asleep. Spend more time contemplating your failures. Have candy for breakfast. With this action, the circle has completed itself, with no higher a sense of competency than when you started. It seems like there may be something fundamentally wrong with your powers of growing up, or maybe there's something fundamentally wrong with the way we teach growing up. Either way, the gummy sharks will give you a raging headache. Thank you. Next up is Ariel Brown.
Thank you for your enthusiasm, Mom. I appreciate it. So I wrote this paper the night before it was due for English, and it's called The First Time. Do you remember when it happened? I do. It was in the late spring. The caramel-colored hardwood floor was sticky from the oncoming humidity. All of the windows were open, letting in the fresh evening air. You could smell the chicken and rice heating on the stove and the Windex that was still settling on the windows and mirrors from Mom's spring cleaning. The boys were downstairs playing Mario Kart on the Nintendo. Every once in a while, you would hear one of them release a rage-filled shriek that was followed by laughter. Sometimes you still hear them, and you imagine the way that the light from the setting sun kissed the dark turquoise walls and reflected off the old TV that sat upon a television stand that can barely carry its weight. You imagine the way their nose scrunched up when they laughed and how they curled their toes into the dingy, barely white carpet they sat upon. Mom had just finished turning on the shower for you. You would have done it yourself, but she always made it either too hot or too cold. She always did it just right. You said goodbye to the sun because you knew that by the time you were out of the shower, it would no longer be visible. Remember hopping off your bed, crossing the hall, and entering the bathroom? The mirrors were becoming foggy and the walls slick from the condensation. You're starting to remember now, aren't you? The way the tiles sounded under your bare feet and how the hook holding up the curtains made that irritating screaming sound when you pulled them aside to step into the shower. This is the part you hate. If I were you, I'd cover my ears. Warm water poured down your bare back as you turned to face the garbage bag taped to the wall of the shower. Dad was going to redo the tile, but had never gotten around to finishing the job. Every month or two, he would replace the garbage bag. This one was new. Fresh duct tape framed the neatly stretched black bag. You ran your fingers across the tape. Although it was new, the corners were beginning to peel back little by little. It reminds you of the book you were reading during recess, the one the boy knocked out of your hands during lineup, on accident, of course. You thought about the way the pages peeled aside as it hit the floor, and the noise the pages made as they ripped when the kids kicked it across the pavement on their way to their lines. You didn't tell your mom about it. Instead, you collected the pages of your book and threw them in the trash. Granted, the book was cheap. It was only $1, but it was one of your favorites. A sigh finally escaped your lips. It feels like the first breath you've released all day. Out of the corner of your eyes, you notice something shining in the dim light. It was a razor. You stared at it for a moment with a blank expression on your face. You watched your dad shave his oncoming beard with it every Saturday morning. Remember picking it up? It was no bigger than your hand. I remember everything as if it were yesterday, but I don't remember how you knew. You took the razor and put it to the soft, pale underside of your skin and twisted it in an awkward fashion. It immediately sliced the surface. Blood dripped down your wrist, and you cleaned the razor off and stared for what felt like an eternity. You made no sound. I don't even think you breathed. You waited for the blood to stop, but it didn't. It just kept running down your wrist, swirling into the drain. After waiting for about 5 minutes, you stared at the spot on your wrist where the smooth skin once used to be. Mom would ask what happened. You already knew that. It was in this moment you screamed. Mom ran into the bathroom and you cried, not because of your wrist, but because of your book and the mean kids at school. When your mom asked what happened, you said it was an accident, and she believed you. The boys stopped playing games and came upstairs to examine the damage. They got camouflage bandages and gauze, wrapping your cut as if it was a gaping hole, and in a way it sort of was. Not physically, of course, but the seams of your mind were slowly falling apart, leaking putrid chemicals into your body that should have stayed hidden away. Mom told you to stop playing with your dad's razor. You didn't tell her how it made you feel. You never told you how you felt. If you did, it would break her heart. If there is one thing I need to tell you, fourth grade self, is that the bullying does not last forever, and eventually you get a new kid's edition of Huckleberry Finn. Don't be sad because no one asked to sit with you at lunch. Everyone at that school kind of sucked anyway, and you eventually make better friends once you leave elementary school. Don't forget that there are millions of people in the world, and a lot of them are waiting to cross paths with you one day. I wish someone would have told you it gets easier, that the pain doesn't last forever. You really need to hear that. Please listen to Mom and stop playing with Dad's razor. Up next is Vanessa.
Good morning, everyone. So this was a piece that I wrote for Miss Marsh's advanced creative comp class, and it was based on the word the backyard. So here we go. While all experiences are a part of what makes a person imperfectly themselves, there are always defining moments in someone's life that stand out among the rest. Sipping cool, bright yellow, homemade lemonade while giggling with my friends in the heat of summer, having snowball fights in the glittering snow that has yet to be turned a muddy black by the trucks and cars speeding by. As far as one of my defining memories, the backyard played a major part in one of mine. It was my 3-year-old brother Zach's third winter with our family, and we had just moved into a new house with a beautiful backyard. When dusted with snow, it looked as if Currier and Ives used our backyard as a basis for one of their Christmas cards. From as far back as I can remember, my brother and I have always had an interesting relationship. While I'm a bubbly theater aficionado, my brother is the cool jock. While these differences cause an insane amount of tiffs in my household, there is an unspoken agreement that when the first snow comes, my brother and I will go outside and spend that day laughing and bonding in the snow. This tradition started on that third winter many years ago. That morning, I woke up to see the normally bleak yellow grass had been transformed into paradise.
The snow stood glittering in the bright sun, reflecting the light like sanding sugar does on the top of the perfect, fluffy vanilla cupcake. On that day, the minute I saw the snow, I grabbed my brother, snow gear, and supplies fit for the best snowman on the block and raced outside. We spent all day making snow angels, or in my brother's case, teaching him how to make snow angels. A 3-year-old's arm span isn't the ideal length for snow angel making, so his turned out more like lines. We finished our day by making our very own igloo, complete with a branch-based fireplace in the middle and pink stools from our playroom as a living room. After we went inside, as we snuggled up next to the fire with our footy pajamas and hot cocoa, my brother said, "I love you" to me for the first time. No matter how much he irritates me, moments like this remind me of why I wouldn't have had as wonderful of a childhood without him. Everyone seems to think that the snow brings some sort of mysterious magic in the air, but now as I study that same backyard from years ago, I believe I have solved the mystery. Snow brings love. Thank you. Next up is Johnny Whitfield and Mike Downing.
Hello?
Hi.
Hello.
All right.
All right. So we'd like to give a shout out to my older sister, Jeannie Whitfield, for basically letting us steal her idea from 2 years ago.
And for all the seniors out there, for the senior superlatives, Johnny Whitfield, Mike Downing, cutest couple 2016. All right.
This house has been mine since before my memories started working. The School of Hunting Ridge is where I spent the past 2 years of my elementary school life and now begins 2nd grade. New teacher, new students that I didn't know, and a whole new level of nerves has taken over me.
Today starts a new life. New home, new school, new friends, and a chance to start fresh. On my first day of 2nd grade at Hunting Ridge, I was a ball of nervous energy. Without knowing anyone or anything going on around me, you could say that I was a mess for the first few weeks.
It had been a few weeks without really making any friends, and it really didn't help that I couldn't find a damn pencil anywhere on my desk.
I took his stuff. Every single day.
I finally figured it out. It's this jerk next to me who keeps stealing all my stuff. But his comeuppance finally came when one day...
Hey, where'd all my stuff go? Seriously? Not a notebook or even a frickin' pencil?
Believe it or not, this was the beginning of it all.
After this, we started hanging out, playing volleyball and kickball. And
Only you played kickball.
okay, only I played kickball, but we played wall ball.
And then the outside of school playdates began.
We had Sonic the Hedgehog.
Pokemon with a completed Pokédex, ladies.
And that ended up lasting throughout all of elementary school. But then
Things got weird.
middle school. Most choose to forget, but
Hey, remember that girl that you dated?
which one?
No, the girl that you got together with, but then broke up with a bunch of times before getting with a different girl between the breakups, and then finally getting back to the first girl before breaking up with her the last time, and then getting with the girl that you met in Europe?
Yeah. Yeah, you got it, champ. Where were you?
Well, we weren't really friends at the time. In fact, I'm not sure many people would consider themselves friends with me during middle school. Sadness had taken over, and a dark cloud had blocked out my enjoyment of life for a while. But then a girl came into play.
Hey, wasn't she friends with my ex-girlfriend back then?
Which one?
We just went over this.
This is how we became friends again, huh? And we stayed friends as we moved into into high school.
And it was lit.
Until December rolled around.
Why? What happened? Oh, right. Hey, how was it, by the way? Your first time, I mean.
You know, it was a lot lonelier than I thought it'd be.
Yeah, that's normally what it's like after the fact. See this guy? He got dumped! Call me Chewbacca because this kid's Han Solo!
Good did come out of this, though. The gaming and hanging out doubled as a result, and most of our weekends ended up concluding with 5 a.m. rounds of Minesweeper.
Rolling into sophomore year, we got lucky with our classes.
We had chemistry and lunch together, and it was light.
Don't you mean lit? Whatever, I'll take it.
The lunch table was where I christened Mike as a PC gamer. We picked out the parts together and assembled them as soon as they arrived.
Remember when the hanging out doubled when he got his heart kicked in the ass by that girl?
Thank you for the reminder there, babe.
No problem. Well, point is, if hanging out was bountiful then, imagine how much we hung out when he didn't have to walk the 2 minutes to get to my house.
Sometimes it's cold.
But that wasn't the only thing that came out of that lunch table.
I met my high school sweetheart.
Aw, thanks, man.
Okay, my second high school sweetheart.
All right.
And she's the prettiest, smartest, and most chill lady ever, and tomorrow will mark our 2-year anniversary.
Hey, remember when you told me that you hated her guts and that you'd never, ever, 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 ever date her?
Yes, thank you for your input, Mike. It is always appreciated. But that brings an end to our sophomore year. And junior year started out just like any other, up until...
November 20th, 2014. I was on my way to a meeting for a club that we ran together when you suddenly called and said you
I
couldn't make
it because something came up and I didn't have time to explain it then, but...
A text from my mom read, "Is Johnny okay? I don't know what happened. All I see is ambulances outside of his house." After an eternal school day, I came over and you explained it all.
My father, he had a heart attack and he didn't make it. But this caring, loving bastard right here was there through it all, and he made sure I always knew that there was something to smile about.
That ended up consuming most of our junior year, but senior year has been nothing short of a blessing.
Whether it be our adventures into the world of competitive gaming, everyday lunches with Vinnies and Smash Bros, or struggling through AP Stats together, you could say we've been through it all.
And next year, even though we'll be 315 miles apart,
5 hours away,
our internet will still be working just fine.
and our late night gaming sessions
Are gonna be lit.
Okay, can we have another big round of applause for everyone? And now is when I ask if anyone has anything else they'd like to share with us. Awesome.
Hello again. Hi. For those of you who don't know, I'm a huge slam poetry fan. I went to Sierra de Mulder's slam poetry camp over the summer, and I just loved it. And as a result, I've been writing slam poetry ever since. So in Creative Comp, we had to do a prompt that was 2 random words picked from a hat. I got French and raspberry, and the prompt was take these words and write something. This is going to be kind of sad, but let's see how it goes. When I was still learning to read from stories of a rainbow fish and a hungry caterpillar, my mom would blow raspberries on my rounded stomach. "You're made to perfection," she would tell me. At age 5, my brother picked me up and had me pretend I was flying through space, that I was my own Superman. Strong, handsome, loved by all. I'm not sure what caused me not to think that as time passed. It might have been the sight of my stomach growing out further and further, maybe the realization I was too heavy to be picked up anymore. When I was 15 when a girl first kissed me, someone using their tongue to show and not tell how I was loved. I wonder if she thought she was French kissing a skeleton, tasting the hunger I had to metamorphosize into something better. Thank you.
Anyone else gonna? Awesome. Come on up.
So this is another thing that I wrote for Advanced Creative Comp. Are you sensing a pattern here, people? This is called Just a Twinkle. Love is the only pure form of magic left on this world that has yet to be ripped apart by the claws of society. Although some may deny it, deep down, every girl wants to find her Prince Charming. We have grown up to be filled with hope as we watch Disney princesses and then rom-com starlets become swept up by the power of the male psyche. But unfortunately, as society is becoming more advanced, people are forgetting how meaningful it can be to find love the old-fashioned way. I feel as if every time I turn on the TV, there is an advertisement for online dating sites, apps, or mixers. What happened to meeting people in the grocery store as your hands spark when you reach for the same loaf of bread? Or when you leave with a twinkle in your eye after discovering that the guy next to you on the subway thought you had a great taste in novels when he saw Pride and Prejudice sticking out of your briefcase? Has love been reduced to something that people have given up finding but instead reach for a computer mouse for? I'm not criticizing those on sites, but I just wish that once in a while, true love stories were still published just to prove that true love exists. I respect the old married couples that hold hands as they walk down the street, or the men that always hold open doors for their girls, just to be polite. Is this idea old-fashioned? Potentially. Do I care? No. While my optimism is naive to some, I just know that one day someone will make every girl's eyes twinkle, heart race, toes tingle, and face glow. He might not be the stunningly handsome Prince Charming everyone has grown to love and lust after, but he is everyone's own unique knight in shining armor. Thank you.
All right, back at the podium. All right, this is another Creative Comp piece, another slam poem. The challenge was to describe a room in your home and what it means to you. So I talked about my living room. This is the first place I go after finishing the long trial of a school day and my final pit stop before throwing myself into sleep. My mother sits quietly with occasional sighs and deep breaths, a phone in her hand or a laptop across her legs as a TV lullabies her to sleep. The smell of a scented candle last burned 10 years ago still lingers on, masked by an abundance of cleaning products used daily. The soft carpet is more of a home to me than the couch against the wall, the one the neighbor likes to liberate to her family. I don't argue it's new anyway. The old one was thrown out several months ago. This room is where all the living in our family happened, Christmases, christenings, and talks about what tomorrow means. Thank you.
Hi guys. So as a couple of you may know, I'm a blogger. So this is an excerpt of something that I wrote for my blog, and it is called My 3 Major French Fails While Visiting Paris. And this is like a really embarrassing story about me, and it's on the internet, so if you want to read it again, I got you. People will tell you that you don't need to speak French in Paris because nearly everyone speaks English. However, when you're stranded in a metro station because your tickets aren't working and the attendant only speaks French, you have to make an attempt at speaking French. I know from experience. My French knowledge only majorly failed me 3 times in Paris, which is actually not terrible, but in the moment it was completely mortifying. So number 1, one of the metros was stuck in the station, and right as we were transferring trains, so of course, we had no other options except to find a taxi. However, when most of the taxis in Paris see a family of 6 with 3 kids, the driver suddenly doesn't want to service them. So we were stuck with all of our bags in central Paris. I went up to one of the drivers in a minivan and asked if he could fit 6 passengers. He said that he could fit 6 passengers. I was telling the others and opening the door to the cab when the man started screaming in French, saying that he could take 6 passengers, but he wasn't going to take 6 passengers. So that was kind of an epic fail. It was very depressing. We were walking along the Seine, number 2, by the way. We were walking along the Seine, and I purchased an antique book from 1737 from Antique Stand. And when the man told me to have a nice day, I said, toi aussi. So for my non-francophones, toi means informal you, or like you that you would say when referring to your friends and close family members. So I like referred to him basically as a close friend. So I would actually have to use vous, which is an interaction with basically everyone else and when talking to a group of people. So that very important piece of French grammar like completely slipped my mind. And so the man got so angry with me. So he gave me a full-on lecture about formality and like respecting your elders and how kids these days are terrible, even though I was a poor American girl who had no idea what she was doing, while slowly backing away from the man like yelling at me in rapid French. It was truly terrifying. And number 3, after we went up the Eiffel Tower and let the kids goof around in the park, my cousin's husband and I went to go get lunch. I ordered 3 hot dogs, 1 ham sandwich, and 1 crepe. The man gave me 3 hot dogs, 3 ham sandwiches, and 1 crepes. And after arguing like completely intently about the meal, I finally subsided. And so shamefully, I paid the 20 extra euros that my mistake cost us because because he misunderstood me as saying 3 for 1, which I don't understand because in French, number 1 is un and number 3 is trois. So I don't see how that's similar, but I don't know. So note to self, use hand gestures when ordering food in another language. Always. Thank you.
Do we have any other pieces we want to share?
So one time I forgot how to breathe. I was sitting in my room watching Netflix, and I forgot what I was watching, but my mom came in, and she just heard me inhaling. So I was intaking all this air, going, but I forgot to exhale. So my mom just kind of stood there in the doorway and stared at me for a few minutes while I was dying. Thank you, Mom. And so I sat there dying, and my mom was just watching. She's like, you need to exhale. So watching Netflix, I'm like, my life was flashing before my eyes, and my mom laughed at me. And that was the biggest betrayal in my life. So shout out, Mom.
Okay, I have a question for our wonderful group of students. Scenario. You are stranded on a deserted island. You can take 1 item. What's it going to be? Does this work? Okay, awesome.
First of all, hypothetically, how'd you get on the island? Sorry. Okay, so you have a plane with you apparently now. So I'll have the plane that was given. And then probably a pet turtle, because then you can use the meat for food, and then you can like cut out, hold on. This is a survival scenario, all right?
Do what you gotta do, man.
You gotta eat the turtle for food, and then you can cut out the belly thing and use it as like a rain hat, right? And then you've got the plane for supplies.
I'm curious about the definition of one object, because, for example, a turtle could be seen as several objects put together. Like, all the... By that logic, can I bring a cruise ship with me? Like, with the food and the beds, and like, is that one object when looked at as a whole that you...
So if any of you watch The Office, I would go off of Dwight and take the survival handbook, which has rope and matches, and I would survive forever on my island, so, yeah.
So my witty, sarcastic answer would be a raft, but in all actuality, I'm a pretty big fan of keys, so probably my clarinet.
I would probably bring my dog.
Aren't we all on an island?
I can't really follow that.
I'd bring Ron Swanson because he'd keep me safe.
Well, everyone pretty much tore apart my question. So does anybody have a question for our panel? I don't know if people, I think I see a hand right there. I think it's Natalia.
You're with it.
Oh, what? What's your spirit animal really fast?
Okay, well, I don't know, but my favorite animal is a turtle because they're really cute.
Mongoose.
Maximus from Tangled.
A chihuahua.
Jellyfish.
Last year, A.S. King said that hers was Rob Lowe, so I can't argue with her.
Probably a sloth. A jackalope.
Okay, one more big round of applause for our panel. Also, a turtle is not an object, Mike. It's an animal.